We have a third presentation before we have some Q&A and discussion. We invite Mr. Theodore, who has been attending some of our sessions before. I myself have not met him. We are only friends in this academy, and he has a project called Shell. He will explain the details of their work through women's self-help movements in many states in India. Mr. Theodore attended our academy and he volunteered. We are inviting other participants to volunteer, although next Friday we are taking a break from the academy. We are shifting to national level presentations from June onwards. But you might want to submit your PowerPoint, and we can, when we resume at the regional level, you could also. So thank you very much, Mr. Theodore, for volunteering, for participating, and now attempting to present your project like how others have done using the 5 dimensions. Over to you, Mr. Theodore, from India.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, yes, very much.
Yeah.
Dr. Eri will keep time as well. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks. I was able to be part of this platform for the past 3 weeks, and I was able to learn so many things from the presentation from different organizations. And I would also like to thank Dr. Selvi for connecting me with this platform, ASEC. Okay, so I represent Vishal, which is based in Chennai, in the southern part of India. Dr. Chandra, can you put the PPT? Yeah. So Vishal stands for Women in Self-Help Action in Lord's Love. It's based in Chennai, India. Next slide, please. So our vision stands for holistic community transformation through committed leadership. It means that we need to transform, or the transformation needs to happen in a holistic way. And also the transformation cannot be done by an external force. The transformation in communities or in individuals needs to come internally. So we focus on empowering the community people so that through their leadership, the transformation takes place. Our organization was started in the year 1999, and it was formally registered as an NGO in 2004. It has operations in the urban slums of Chennai, where we are located, and we also work with some communities in the northern part of India, in the rural communities, and also in the tribal communities in the northern part of India. Next slide. Yeah. We work with 3 objectives. It's called personal transformation, family transformation, and community transformation. We believe that when the individuals are transformed, it impacts the family. And when families are impacted, we can see changes or transformation in the community. So as an organization, we believe that we need to approach at all the 3 levels. It should not be only at the community level or only at the individual level, but the influence or the impact needs to be at all the 3 levels. Next slide. Yeah. And we work based on a development framework, or we can call it as a problem framework. It's because we need to know why we need to do what we do. What is the reason for doing certain things? So we believe that poverty is the result of basically a result of broken relationships and broken systems. By broken relationships, I mean that every individual has 4 fundamental relationships. That is relationship with God, relationship with oneself, relationship others, either it's family, neighbors, or others in the community, and the relationship with the environment. So a person can grow or develop only if the person has started to develop good relationship with all these 4 actors all these four aspects. And we also believe that communities or has systems. Every community has systems in place, and every community works based on the system that is available in the community. And we believe that, and we have also experienced as development workers and experienced people, we see that when systems are in place or good in communities, we can see that the communities are developed. But when we see that when the systems are broken, when the economic system is broken, or when there is caste system, there is exploitation, when the social system is broken, or when the religious system is broken, when there is corruption in the religious institutions, or uh, the political system is corrupt, the leaders exploit others in the communities, we see that the community is poor or not developed. So it is important that we work on the systems so that the community develops. This is what Dr. Ben often repeats as the good governance, or the alternate governance that we need to enhance in the community so that the community gets developed or transformed. Next slide, please. So based on this framework, how do we approach our work? So basically, we try to build relationships with the community people. We spend more time with them, talking with them. They say that we sit with them and drink a lot of tea with them, building relationship with them. So we build relationship with them. Then we believe that we cannot approach individuals in the community. We need to organize the community. We need to build systems in the community. So we believe that the communities needs to be organized in small groups. Either it is women's group, or it is young people's group, or it is farmers group. We need to organize them into smaller groups so that we can change the community. And we believe that community participation should be there. Whatever happens in the community should be done with the participation of the community people. And we also believe that empowerment happens through dialogue. So we spend a lot of time planning with them, asking their ideas, giving suggestions so that they can improve upon their ideas. And the other approach that we use is, it is need based. We always don't go with a certain project or certain intervention. We try to identify what is the need. We use a lot of the PRA techniques. The photographs that you see there, people are involved in identifying the problems in the communities. So we try to identify what is the need and try to come up with interventions which is also more holistic in nature. And we also believe that we need to come up with sustainable solutions. Though it takes time, it takes time to see the solutions happening, but we believe that instead of the approach being charity oriented, we need to come up with some empowerment approach so that there will be some sustainable solutions in the community. So these are the approach that we have when we work in the communities. Next slide, please. So as I just wanted to present one model of our intervention. Before presenting that, I just thought I will share one case study. And as you see this PowerPoint, we can see that the oval shaped boxes are there. The oval shaped things are there. It highlights the 5 dimensions, the dimensions that we are talking about. So this slide talks about a woman called Selvi in one of the community in Chennai. She has 2 children, one boy and one girl. Now they are in their adolescent ages. But when they were too small, she lost her husband. Her husband passed away. And since that time, the Selvi, she earns and she supports the family in their studies, in their providing food and health for them. And few years back, she became part of our group called the Transformation Group for the Women. She became a member, and she is also now the leader of that group, where they do savings and other related activities. And we also provide training on how to start and run small businesses. And she was also part of the training. And for her livelihood, now she has a push cart where she sells vegetables and fruits going through the streets in a particular area in Chennai city. And during the recent COVID, we know that many people lost their livelihood in the communities, and because of that, many of them were not able to even buy fruits and vegetables. So when she goes sells the fruits and vegetables, once she gets the needed profit for the day, what she does is she gives the other vegetables and fruits for credit, and she tells these people, you can pay it later, because it's a community known to her. So she tells that you can pay it later after 2 months once you start to go to work. And in the evening, when still if she has left products, she goes to families which don't have any money, so she just goes and distributes the excess materials to her. And recently we thought of providing nutritious powder to the children in those communities. So she volunteered and told that she will prepare the nutrition powder and distribute to the children in the community. And for the past 2 weeks, she's distributing this powder to around 26 children in that community. So this is what happens when we influence individuals and they start to transform the communities in whatever ways it is possible for them. Next slide, please. So the previous 2 slides back. Yeah. So the model that I would like to present is called the transformation group model. Most of you are aware of the self-help group movement in India, where they have the economic development program through the self-help group concept. This is something similar to it, but it has some added values to their functioning. So this is a group of 12 to 15 women in a group. They meet on a weekly basis for 1 to 1.5 hours. They have a systematic meeting in this 1.5 hours. They start with a value-based song, and then they have value-based stories. We have a storytelling methodology where the story is repeated to the group twice or thrice so that it goes inside. And we have a set of facilitating questions. Through a dialogue process, they try to learn through this story what I have learned in my life. They try to discuss on that, and they will also share some life experiences. Then after the stories, they have a preventive health session where they learn how to use locally available materials, resources, to take care of the health issues in their families, and also when they need to go for external medical treatments. All these things they learn in the preventive health. And if the groups are illiterate, we have a functional literacy program where they learn to write, to read, to do some arithmetic calculations. And then they do the savings and they do the internal lending, and then they close with a pledge and they go home. This is what happens in the transformation group. And we have around 56 transformation groups running in different parts of our country. Next slide, please. Yeah. And the previous slide. Yeah. And as I told, we believe that the transformation needs to happen by them. So we focus more on training them by providing different kinds of leadership trainings, relationship training with regard to relationship, with regard to finance, women's health, abortion, trafficking. And also we train them how to identify the issues in the community and address those communities. So periodically we have different kind of leadership development program for these group members. Next slide.
Theodore, you have 2 minutes left.
Oh, just 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah. And then these groups are facilitated by selected leaders, identified leaders who facilitate these transformation group meetings. These leaders from the community. So what we do is weekly once we sit with these hub leaders to tell them how to facilitate weekly meetings, what needs to be discussed, and all those things. So these selected leaders go to the communities, their own communities. Each leader has 2 or 3 groups. They go and do the weekly meetings. And these leaders also are empowered to plan and implement various activities that happens in the community, whether it is a Women's Day program or medical camps or processing loans for the members or planning skill trainings. All these are done by the hub leaders. Next slide, please. And then we have skill trainings for them, which is again need-based according to the need and according to the markets that are available around these members or provided skill training. And in the skill training also, we provide life skills. There will be sessions on life skills, and also trainings on, we collect a nominal fees, and that part that goes as a part for the trainer. And and we also found that the trainings that we provided for the past few years, we found that the 60% of the women use this to earn income or also to earn additional income for their families. Next slide, please. And as I told earlier, we also provide them on how to start and run businesses. We have a module on how to start business and how to run it successfully. So when these women are given skill trainings, then we train them also on this income generation activities so that they can be successful in the business that they do. Next slide, please. We also provide there is an access to micro loan also, because access to capital is a great hindrance for or the great cause for poverty in the community. So there is a initiative to provide loans to these community members, and again this is also majoritarily owned by the community. They identify who are the beneficiaries and they decide whether they deserve the loan or not, and even the repayment process is handled by them. So as a result of that, we have a very good return percentage. Around 98% of them are returning their loans regularly, and every year around 60 women in Chennai access these loans, and every year on an average a woman takes around $200 as a loan. This is how this microcredit system functions in the groups. The next slide. And in order to encourage them to continue to apply what they have learned in their skills, we have a platform called Vishal Wonderworks. It's a platform where we encourage the women to make the products, and then we create avenues or we kind of create markets so that they will be able to sell these products to different locations. This is we call it the Vishal Wonderworks. Next slide, please. So last year we did a small study, a random survey of the impact of the transformation group, and we just want to highlight 4 points about the impact of these transformation groups. We found that from 42%, the savings habit increased to 96%, and we also saw that we see that money lenders, the exploitation of the money lenders, many women were able to come out of the exploitation, because initially 92% of the women used to access the money lenders loan, but now only 40% of them are accessing the loan from the money lenders. And we found that 66% of them use this money to buy assets in their house. And in terms
Time
of
is
the
off, Theodore.
Okay, can I take another 2 minutes?
Just get a summary, and I will give it to Datuk.
Pardon?
I let you to summarize, and then, then Datuk will continue.
Yeah, just 2 minutes. And in terms of values, we found that they have developed the habit of helping others, to be truthful in their lives, and also to share their problems, to listen to one another problems, and to encourage one another. Next slide, please. When we compare the impact it happens in the sustainable development goals, we see that directly we are influencing the SDGs 1, 2, 3, 8, 11, and 16. And indirectly, we are also impacting 4, 5, and 10. Next slide, please. I just want to finish with this slide. Just 2, 3 incidents shortly. The first group is a Malligai TG. It's a group in Chennai. In 2015, there was a flood in Chennai, and the part where this group is located, they were affected. So as an organization, we were able to raise some funds and to provide some relief to these to the families in that community. And fast forward 2 years back, there was a cyclone in the southern part of Tamil Nadu, which was around 400 kilometers away from Chennai. These women heard about the impact, the destruction it happened. So these women collected around 10,000 rupees. It's around $150, and they came and gave it to us and told, you please send this money to any village which is affected, because when we were affected, somebody helped us, and we want to help those who are affected now. This is what this group did. And in the second photo that we see is a woman in green color sari. She lost her husband 4 years back suddenly, and she has two boys. One is a deaf and dumb boy, and she works as a housemaid, the house cleaner. She did not have money even to do the last rites, but this the group of women we see below, the similar group, they provided the money as a group to do the last rites for her husband. And since the past few years, they are supporting the educational expenses for this woman. And the third incident is a
time is off, exceeded.
Okay. Okay, I'll just leave
I'm
the
sorry.
third incident. Yeah, next slide.
Thanks.
So I just want to conclude that when we impact on all the aspects, we can see the dimensions of the SSE were happening, and we can see the impact of or the transformation happening in the communities. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Theodore. I think we do recognize the good work that you are doing, and a lot of grassroots solidarity stories. And I think it's quite amazing how the women are themselves able to generate the income, work together as a social group, and then be able to be in solidarity with others, and so forth. So thank you